This Good to Go segment is sponsored by Corewell Health.
Recent studies show that more than half of LGBTQIA young people are unable to get proper mental health care and support to ensure their overall wellness. Unfortunately, it's our LGBTQIA communities across the country that are facing a number of challenges, with stigma and discrimination being two of the many reasons why depression rates remain consistently high within this population. Here to tell us more about these challenges and what's being done here in West Michigan is Dr. Lyndsay Volpe-Bertram, Section Chief of Psychology at Corewell Health. It's good to have you here.
Good to be here. Thank you.
Talk a bit about why mental health is such an important part of our overall physical and individual wellness.
It's really impossible to separate the two. And I think we tried for a really long time, but are now accepting that there's no having one without the other. You know, when we're physically not feeling well, it has a negative impact on our mood, our concentration, our fatigue level. And that makes us obviously more irritable when we're going through everyday life. And two, when we are depressed, when we're anxious, when we're going through really difficult times, that can lead to a lot of negative impact. You know, depression and anxiety and trauma, we might see things like digestive issues, headaches, stomach aches, you know, significant fatigue, poor concentration. There's really just a never-ending list of how these two really like gang up on each other and make it hard for us to function.
So what are folks at Corewell Health doing to improve access and provide mental health support to this community?
Yeah, so the LGBTQIA plus community really takes a hit. You know, we have seen, as you mentioned, increased rates of depression, increased rates of suicide, increased rates of trauma, because of a lot of the things that these folks are experiencing in terms of stigma and discrimination on a routine basis. So one of the things our group has done is create a group of experts, both on the medical side as well as the mental health provider side, to really look at our current practices to see how we can better serve this population and treat them the way that they need to be treated. So we are doing things such as creating trainings that all providers and staff have to sit through, not have to sit through, but we ask them to go through to better understand things like how to ask patients appropriately about their pronouns, about how to gather an appropriate health history. Again, really focusing on that communication aspect of talking to people in a respectful way, the same way we'd want to do for every single patient. So we're asking providers to do those types of trainings. We have hired an LGBTQIA plus patient navigator who is just such a valuable resource to the system. Her role is to talk with patients coming in, understand what types of services that they need, and then help them get connected to providers who are safe and affirming so that they can be really successful in the healthcare system. And that's just so important because so many of these patients have been burnt in healthcare previously, which may make it hard for them to reach out and seek treatment. So we really want to make sure we're being successful in pairing them up with providers who understand what they need. And then from a mental health side, we are doing a ton of work to provide monthly continuing education for our providers because we want to increase their exposure. We want to help them really build a competency in treating the LGBTQIA plus population. So we're talking about a variety of different topic areas to really help increase our provider skill set. And I think we're already really seeing a lot of positive benefit from that.
Topics like what?
Oh, any number of things. So helping providers understand the different types of gender affirming care and how we as behavioral health providers can help increase access to that. Looking at things like implicit bias so that our providers better understand their immediate reactions and judgments so that we can really do work on our end to make sure we're approaching patients in the right way. And then so many other things like looking at patients who might be neurodivergent and also have an identity in the LGBTQIA plus population. So lots of really, really great content.
And so important. The stakes are high in failing to be prepared to meet the special needs of this community. So great you're doing the work. Thank you for spending a few minutes talking about it with us. And of course, folks, for more information or to connect with a navigator, visit spectrumhealth.org/LGBTQIA. Thank you.
Thank you.